What's up, beautiful besties? Welcome into Turning Tides Tarot. My name is Alicia. Thank you all so very much for being here with me. Now, I have to tell you that I sat down to do a reading and I was called to use my emotions deck, which I actually haven't used in a very long time. And I shuffled, and these three energies popped out. And then Spirit basically gave me almost a whole entire reading just on these three messages. So I'll fill you in on what I'm picking up on. And then, of course, we'll ring the sound bowl, we'll call in Spirit, and we will ask some questions to clarify and get some details. Okay. So I'm just gonna dive into it. Okay. Because what Spirit was showing me is a situation where you were always the catch. Okay. I feel like you're a super high value person, you're magnetic, you're attractive, you're funny, you're gorgeous, generous. I just feel like you're the kind of person that people just love to be around. Like you've got this full package glow, this full package energy, and this is what I'm picking up on. Now, I do feel like the person that you were last dealing with, so this is going to be an ex, okay? Honestly, I feel like they were someone other people might have overlooked, okay? And I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, you know, you know, okay, I feel like you gave them a shot because you don't like judge a book by its cover, right? Like you saw something in them, and I feel like just by being connected to you, their stock instantly went up. Suddenly people really started paying attention to them and treating them like they were somebody, but it's all because they had you with them. You know what I mean? Like they were getting benefits just by being close to you. Okay, like I don't know if it's their reputation or they all of a sudden just looked really attractive to other people because they were with you. They were getting like secondary benefits just from being with you. Okay, so and I have to tell you that their ego absolutely loved that. They loved that new attention they were getting. I feel like it went straight to their head. I'm picking up on somebody who started thinking, okay, well, if I can land someone like you, maybe I can do even better. So instead of appreciating what they had, who they had, they let that inflated ego really drive them out the door. Okay. I feel like they walked away thinking and feeling like they were the prize, right? And they were convinced that they could trade up. Okay, this is what Spirit's showing me. But here's the gag, okay? Once they weren't attached to you anymore, I feel like that whole spotlight completely dimmed on them, like that shiny new attention. I feel like it was gone. Okay. People who were fawning over them, I don't feel like they really cared once you were out of the picture. Um, so I feel like without your glow rubbing off on them, they went right back to being just basic, and again, not trying to throw shade, but there's something about, it's really unfortunate when you are this kind of person who like just naturally, when you walk into a room, people have eyes on you. It just is the way it is. And it doesn't have to be about your looks. It's your energy. It's your aura, you just put off a really good vibe. And sometimes there are some shady people out there, which I'm sure you already know, that if you have something, they want it, right? And that's what was going on here. You were with that person, so guess what? They wanted that person. And so, I feel like, again, that your ex or whatever was getting a lot of that attention only because you were with them, right? And, it is what it is, okay? But that's not why we're here. I feel like why we're here is because, again, they walked away from you thinking that they could do better. Okay. And again, when they did that, they stopped being so shiny to everyone and they weren't getting the attention that they thought they were going to be getting. And now this is where this frustrated energy comes in because I'm picking up on their vibe. Okay. But I wanted to lay the groundwork about who you were and what happened because that's what Spirit's showing me. They're sitting in this frustrated energy right now. I feel like they're extremely embarrassed and they're miserable. Okay. They basically know that they completely fumbled the bag here, right? I mean, because let's be real, the person they tried to replace you with, or the people that thought that they were going to just like link up with or whatever. No, those are messy people. Okay. And I don't feel like they were even given the opportunity, like, it's like now that, I don't really want you anymore. I didn't actually really want you. I only wanted you because you were with our collective. Like, it's giving a huge mess. Basically, that upgrade they thought they were going to get is a downgrade, okay? And everyone can see it. Like, everyone can see it with this embarrassed energy. Like, I feel like on top of all of this, which is absolutely horrible, like if this is your story, you can leave a like. And I just wanted to say, like, sorry that this happened. But, you know, I feel like on top of all of this, right? I feel like they even like went so far as to like try to smear your name. Like they may have tried to, I don't know. I just feel like if they were talking bad about you on top of all of this, saying like, oh, you were the one to wreck the relationship or whatever they were saying. I mean, I don't know. I feel like all of that backfired too because the truth is out here. I feel like people are whispering. I feel like they're catching side eyes. I feel like there's a lot of gossip around them at the moment. And it's clear to anyone watching that they're the ones who caused all of this chaos. Like they're the ones who messed it all up. And now they're stuck in this dumpy little life that they tried to make look glamorous, okay, and attractive. So I just gotta say, I feel like you were right. You know, I feel like you were right about this whole thing, okay, this whole situation. I feel like you I just feel like you've had to obviously wash your hands of all of this. But and you've been going in, you've been moving along. Did this suck? Absolutely. But I gotta say, I feel like, you were right about the whole situation. And now they're basically out here crying, embarrassed, exposed, and it's not just in private, but I feel like it's basically in front of everyone. Like I'm getting a pretty public, because of the embarrassed, humiliated, ashamed, mortified. I feel like a lot of people know what they did, right? At least within a friend group or in a community or something. Like it's really embarrassing for them, okay? Because what they thought that they were going to get, it didn't end up happening for them, right? You were literally the best thing that had ever happened to them, and other people can see that. And then other people saw this whole thing go down, okay? So anyway, I'm going to ring the sound bowl. That's the situation. I'm going to call in spirit, and I've got some questions, right? I want to know what's really going on behind the scenes. What has them so embarrassed, how people are actually viewing them now, and what's the biggest regret haunting them when it comes to you. Okay, so we're going to get into that. So thank you for being here. Here we go. Okay, I'm calling on spirit with so much love and so much gratitude. I ask for divine guidance as I interpret these messages. May they help us all on our journey towards our highest and greatest good. I'm asking for love, joy, peace, abundance, and protection for myself, for you, and for all beings on the planet at this time. Thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, Spirit, what's really going on behind the scenes? Like, what has this person so embarrassed right now? Oh, dang, Queen of Cups in reversed. Okay, we're starting there. Let's see what else we have here. The Magician, Four of Cups. Oh my gosh, so much. Okay. Knight of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. I know I've got a crew here that's going to tell me to take all of this energy. So I'm just going to do it. Okay, I'm just going to do it. We're going to get the whole tea here. Let's find out what has them so freaking embarrassed. Oh my gosh. You know what? And it's funny because it all flew up in the reverse. It all flew up in the reverse. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm also going to peek at the bottom of the deck. We have the Seven of Pentacles. This is a lot for one question. So please just give me a moment to tune into this whole way. Okay, my goodness. All right, so behind closed doors, okay, this person, I have to say that I feel like they're in a straight up like emotional spiral, okay? The Queen of Cups reversed, I mean, that tells me they're unstable, they're moody, maybe drowning in their own emotions, like a lot of tears, okay? They're definitely not feeling very balanced right now. They're not centered. I feel like there's a lot of lashing out happening, okay? A lot of emotional outbursts, like crying 1 minute and then stone cold the next, even. Like this energy of someone who can't keep it all together, okay? And people around them are definitely noticing. They're definitely noticing. And I feel like with the magician paired with the Four of Cups, like we've got this vibe of them scrambling to create something that looks impressive, okay? But no matter what they do, it just keeps falling flat. Like they're putting on this desperate show right now, hoping to look like, they're thriving, okay? But deep down, I mean, they're bored, they're dissatisfied, they're restless, okay? Nothing hits the way it did when they were connected to you. Nothing compares, okay? And honestly, all of their efforts are looking really forced. Okay. So, like, imagine someone posting flashy things on social media, right? Trying to act completely unbothered, but everyone's scrolling past, like, wow, okay, they are trying way too hard. Okay. That's what it feels like. It feels very forced. And that's the vibe that other people are picking up on too. And with the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles here, I mean, I don't know. It is screaming like there's a contradiction happening. Like on one hand, they're making all of these reckless and impulsive moves, okay, trying to jump into new connections and maybe rushing into projects and really talking big without thinking things through, right? And then on the other hand, nothing's actually going anywhere, right? There's a lot of talk and there's not a lot of action going on with them right now. Like they can't back it up, right? So I feel like right now they are stuck, like spinning their wheels, and it is painfully obvious to anyone, clocking it, right? Like it's embarrassment fuel right here. Like people are secondhand embarrassed for them, I feel like. And then we have this Six of Pentacles, and I feel like that stings, right? This is about, give and take, but in their world, it's all off balance. So I see them either begging for scraps of attention, like very pick me energy, bending over backwards to keep someone's interest, like this is the same person who once thought they were too good for you. And now it's like they're trying to earn like validation. Like, like I don't know why I just saw a bunch of gold stars. Like, in school, like kids really try very hard to get like gold stars from their teacher. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but trust me, everyone else can see it too, right? It's like very much, pay attention to me, pick me, kind of an energy, and people see it, right? It's actually quite humiliating. Okay. So I want to get into the second stack here because that's giving us a little bit of the deeper dirt, and every card in reverse, I mean, face down when it fell out, it does feel like hidden secret shame energy. Okay. And with the Eight of Cups reverse, I mean, it does show that they're stuck in a loop. They can't really move forward right now. They did try to walk away from you, but they can't let it go. Okay. I do feel like they keep looking back. And I feel like they're circling back to old flings, or maybe they are repeating old mistakes, but I feel like they keep going back to the past, and they're in this sad little cycle of like someone who really doesn't know how to grow up. That's what it feels like to me. Okay. And I know I feel like I'm being a little harsh, but I mean, this person really did you dirty. And this is kind of like you reap what you sow. Okay. I just have to be for real, because the moon reverse tells me all of the truth is coming out right now. Like all of the truth is coming out, all the illusions that they tried to create about themselves, and I feel like it's all cracking, right? Like their secrets, their games, their lies, everything's getting harder to hide, like their ill intention and what was really motivating them, to walk away from you. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to hide. People are starting to see the inconsistencies. Like, I feel like they're out here saying one thing, but they're living in another way. Like, again, the contradiction here is just too big to ignore. Like they're talking a real big game, but they can't back it up right now. Also, the Three of Pentacles in reverse, like they're not playing nicely with others right now. They're not getting along with people around them, whether that's like at work, in friendships, even in their love life. Nothing's flowing, right? There's miscommunication, there's arguments, there's lack of respect here. Like, instead of being admired, okay, which is what they wanted, that's the energy that they were really like lapping up because they were feeling that when they were connected to you. I feel like they're coming off as basically incompetent, childish, or even difficult to work with. Okay. So, the Fool reversed, oh my gosh, like I feel like it's just one bad thing after another, I have to say, because I mean, this is really talking about how bad their judgment's been, right? So They took a risk, they took a leap, they weren't ready for it, they couldn't back it up, right? So they made all these choices, without thinking, and everything's backfired on them, right? So instead of looking bold and adventurous, they look careless, they look immature, okay? They do. And with the Five of Pentacles reversed again, it's like that desperate attempt to claw their way out of that hole that they dug themselves, right? They're really trying to re-enter spaces that they've been shut, that have already shut them out. Like, you know what I mean? They're trying to get back in. Okay, and I feel like they might even be trying to reconnect with like mutual friends of yours, or worse, they could even be testing the waters to see if you're going to take them back. Okay, but that stink of rejection is still on them. Okay, and people know it. It's embarrassing to watch them struggle around and stumble, trying to rebuild after burning so many bridges. I feel like that's what they've done here. Okay, now finally, we do have the Seven of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and that is the energy of frustration, like waiting, putting all this time, putting all this effort into trying to get things moving for them, but they're not seeing results, okay? They invested time, energy, their ego into these choices they thought were going to elevate them, right? But all it's produced is like friggin' stagnation, okay? Like, so they're left basically staring at this mess, realizing that none of it paid off the way that they wanted, okay? Absolutely none of it. Now, I don't know. In the real world, I guess this could look like, I feel like what they did, okay, let me just I'm getting more details from this, because I feel like what they did was they tried to show off maybe a new relationship, but it flopped like immediately and very publicly. Okay. Maybe that new person started like dragging them publicly as well. Okay. I do feel like they've lost credibility even at work, because they've been in this mode of making like super impulsive choices. And I feel like it keeps blowing up in their faces. Okay. I just got to say that. And I do feel like, the people who were once boosting their ego are basically avoiding them like the plague right now, because the whole, like all of this drama is just too much for anyone, right? It's just too much for anyone. So people are not like giving them what they wanted, what they were craving, which is that ego boost. Okay. Again, I feel like they're posting online, they're looking like they're thriving, but behind the scenes, I mean, they're either sleeping on someone else's couch or they're crying in their car. Like, it's giving desperation, okay, and embarrassment. So I feel like they are highly embarrassed, because basically the world they tried to build without you looks like a friggin' house of cards, okay? It's flimsy, it's unstable, and collapsing for everyone to see, okay? Now, I know that was a lot. That was a lot. Like I said, Spirit is spilling some tea here on this person. But I want to know, okay, like how are people around them actually viewing them now? Okay, after what they've done, how are people actually viewing them now? I guess we kind of already have that. I mean, it's really embarrassing. But let's see if we can pull out any more here. It's highly embarrassing for them. How are people looking at them? What's at the bottom of the deck? Five of Swords. I know, so many cards. Okay, let me tune in. Okay, so the first card out is this Three of Wands, right? And I feel like, it kind of sets the tone, right? People are looking at them like, they're always waiting on results that never arrive. Okay. So folks see them as someone who's always talking about, what's coming next, right? Like their big plans, the future wins, the just wait, you'll see kind of an energy. But here's the thing. No one's seeing the payoff. Like it feels like watching someone hype themselves up, and then nothing ever materializes. Like nothing ever comes into fruition for them. And the Nine of Swords lets us know that people can actually feel their anxiety. Okay. Even if they try to smile through it, okay, people can sense it. It's like they can see right through them. They can sense the sleepless nights, the regret, the shame basically eating away at them. It's like, you can see it on their face. Okay. It's not being hidden very well. Like people are seeing them as like basically haunted by their choices. Okay. And I feel like, when they walk into a room, their vibe is basically screaming like, I'm not okay, even when their mouth is saying otherwise. Like they just can't hide it. Like everyone notices, right? And the Nine of Wands, it does add another layer because I feel like people are seeing them as, defensive, guarded, and maybe even paranoid. Okay. So it's kind of giving this energy of someone that knows they've messed up and they're kind of bracing for more fallout. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I just had to pause for a second. I had a tickle in my throat. Anyway, they're coming across as someone who's like super tired and worn down, like life has beaten the heck out of them. You know what I mean? Life has definitely beaten them up. So instead of looking strong, it just kind of looks pitiful. Okay, it does. And again, I'm just serving it how it's coming up because, it's, it's, it is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for this person. But again, they dug their own grave here. Like they really did because the Two of Wands, King of Wands, to me, it's kind of fascinating that those two energies are together because people people are seeing them as someone who wants to look very powerful and in control, right? Someone who, believes they're a leader and they have options and they know what they're doing, right? But the reality is what's happening here is like they're looking at someone who is indecisive, who's like what's that word? Fickle. Okay. Like they can't make a choice. They can't stick with anything, right? They're always chasing after the next big thing or the next shiny thing, right? And so, I mean, it feels more like someone trying to play the role of authority, like rather than actually being respected as an authority. Like, do you know what I mean? It's giving like wannabe boss energy, and people are definitely side-eyeing that, they're clocking it because the Ace of Pentacles tells me like when people see them chasing these new opportunities, they see it happening, but it's like every chance basically slips through their fingers. Like they're going to talk about all of these new adventures or jobs or relationships, but everyone's noticing that nothing sticks with them, right? Like they can't make anything last. It's embarrassing when you're always like announcing a fresh start, but you're never like actually delivering any of the stability behind it. Like it's never going anywhere. Okay. So under the deck with the Five of Swords, I feel is the kicker. Like folks are seeing them as someone who like sabotages their own wins, like all the time, right? They're being viewed as like combative and someone who burns bridges just to feel good in the moment. But what happens is they wind up standing alone with nothing to show for it. So the reputation is like, yeah, they talk real big, but they can't actually play the long game. Like, you know what I mean? They ruin it for themselves every single time. And so their whole vibe is being clocked as someone who just can't be trusted overall. So, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, because they're definitely someone who talks about the future. They'd never back it up with results. They're showing up. People are seeing them as haunted and anxious, defensive, tired, and it's just showing, like it's showing on their face. They're posing as this wannabe leader, but no one's respecting them. And I feel like they're just very much seen like, again, they're like a try hard or a pick me. Like there's no substance. They're basically being viewed as a self saboteur whose ego keeps, writing checks that they can't cash. Like people are just not impressed. Okay. They're not envious. They're not jealous. They're just watching this person stumble and it's so uncomfortable. Like again, secondhand embarrassment every time their name comes up, right? So again, like you were right to just like kind of did it hurt when they thought like I'm sure it hurt, right? But you were right to like not be pressed about this person because oh my gosh, like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, right? But, I've got one more question here. I got one more question that I want to know. I want to know what the biggest regret that's haunting them when it comes to you. I want to know what is the biggest regret that's haunting this person when it comes to you. Again, I'm sure it stung when they did what they did. I'm sure it did. But I mean, I don't know what else to say. We have the Knight of Wands, the Five of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Emperor, the Seven of Cups. What's at the bottom of the deck? The Two of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. Okay. And the Tower. Oh my. Okie doke. Okay. Okay, so I mean, the Knight of Wands here shows basically what's haunting them the most right now is how reckless they were with you, right? I mean, they came in hot, passionate, exciting, but they didn't ground the energy, right? Instead of building with you, they basically played with the connection like it was temporary, right? Like chasing the attention and chasing thrills and thinking they had endless amount of time, right? I feel like, that impulsivity really cost them obviously something real here. And the weight of that mistake hits them harder than they'll ever admit, I feel like, with this energy. Because the Five of Cups, it basically shows us the regret, the mourning, and the guilt that they feel. Like they can't stop replaying the loss here. Sure, they're probably trying to distract themselves, but when it's quiet, I mean, they feel the grief of what they destroyed, okay? They're haunted by this image of you, right? The one who offered them something solid, loving, unconditional. And the fact that they turn their back on it, I mean, that's hitting them pretty hard right now. And then we have the Nine of Cups and the Emperor, which basically tells me they regret how selfish they were. All right, they prioritize their own ego, their desires, and that need to look like they're in control over the actual bond that the two of you shared, right? They thought they could have it all, okay? Freedom, options, and maybe even you waiting on the sidelines. But that arrogance, it really cost them the kind of joy that they'll never be able to replicate. Okay, they won't. And the Seven of Cups, Two of Pentacles, I mean, it shows the regret of the indecision, right? They juggled you with these illusions, distractions, or straight up, the other options here. They thought the grass was going to be greener, okay? And now they're stuck in this loop of like what ifs, right? Haunted by choices they made, right? And the choices that they didn't. So under the deck, I mean, the Two of Cups and the Tower, to me, that pretty much, says it all, okay? Like their biggest regret is destroying the soulmate bond, okay? For some of you, this could even have been like twin flame energy. I mean, I don't know. You know best, right? But basically, they know the connection you had was rare, it was real, and it was fated, okay? So instead of protecting it, they basically blew it up. So that realization, I mean, that they ruined something sacred is the ghost that pretty much follows them everywhere. So it's not just about embarrassment anymore. This is the ache of knowing they had basically the world in their hands and they dropped it. Okay. They dropped it. Oh my gosh. Oh, goodness. I feel like we've been dragging this person a little bit long. But I kind of do have some more questions. So I just feel like now that we've seen their biggest regret is destroying this like soulmate bond and they know it, they feel it. The Tower with the Two of Cups is haunting them, right? But the real question that I've got going on right now within me is like, is it going to change them, right? Is all of this experience, all of this embarrassment, like, are they going to learn from it? Are they going to finally learn? Or like, are they always doomed to repeat the same old patterns? I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to take a little bit of a break here and shake this off so that I can shake off the embarrassing feelings, for them. But I don't know. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do an extended here and we're going to dig into what they, first of all, I do kind of want to dig into what they're thinking when they're up at 3 a.m. replaying everything. Okay. But I do want to know whether spirit's actually pushing them towards a breakthrough. Okay. Because I mean, when someone hits rock bottom and the Tower hits, usually I'm going to say, I can't promise anything, bestie, but usually that's where we see spirit stepping in or them turning to spirit or gaining some kind of wisdom through that hermit experience, usually. So I want to see, because I'm curious to know if they're going to, actually be capable of, changing, okay, showing up differently. I want to know if this Tower moment is their turning point, right? Or, is it just another sad story? So I don't know. I am going to extend it because I want to explore. I don't feel like this is the end of their story. I'm really hoping that this negative experience they're currently going through right now is going to be some kind of catalyst for this person to evolve and level up. That is my wish for them, because I mean, who can stand that, being in this energy? Like if that were me, I'm just trying to place myself in their position, even though I wouldn't do anything like that. But if it were me, I would like obviously want to show up. I would want people to, I'd want to be a better person, and I'd want other people to stop looking at me and feeling secondhand embarrassment. Like, I would want to be starting to make healthier choices in my life. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying, Bestie, is I'm going to extend this. And by the time you see it, it's going to be available right away, but I'm going to take a little break and clear my energy. And then just come back and see what's going to happen. And if this is going to be a catalyst for any kind of change or growth for this person. So if you are interested, if you're curious, you know, the link is going to be posted to the top of the comments. And of course, as always, I do appreciate your energy exchange and the support that you give to myself, the work that I do. And it does help to bring more of these readings out on more of a daily basis. Okay, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been putting more energy and attention onto this channel as well. So for those of you who are not curious at all and you're like, good riddance, and you've washed your hands of this person, perhaps come join us on the Divine Feminist channel, where they are just messages for your empowerment, people who are leaving any kind of situations like this in their past and focus on their glow up journey. So I offer like empowering messages and just, you know, we're talking about the glow up over there. So if you feel called to join us there, excellent. I will try to remember to drop a link. But if I don't, you can always find it somewhere on the community post tab. It's linked over to my other channel. Okay. So I'm sending you lots of love. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your likes. Thank you for all of your comments. I just love you guys so much. And I can't wait to see what happens next. If anything, again, no guarantees. Okay. But we shall see, friends. We shall see. All right. Take care and have a blessed day. Okay, besties, welcome into the extended reading. Thank you so very much for joining me. And thank you again for your energy exchange. I am using the After Tarot because we are hoping that after this embarrassing experience for this person, they will level up and grow. We hope so. Let's find out. First, we're going to dive into, though, what are they thinking about when they're up, you know, at 3 a.m. haunted by losing you. So I want to know that first. Let's see what is on their mind, please, Spirit, when this person is spiraling, thinking about our amazing collective. We have the Queen of Cups in the upright this time. The Fool. Okay. Okay, let's see. We have the Eight of Wands. I'm just going to pull another here, and then we'll get the overall vibe at the bottom of the deck for this question. Ooh, Nine of Swords. There's the spiraling energy. There it is right there. Okay. Wow. Let's get into this.